Hello, my friends. This is Jessica. This is I Read to Relax, and I'm going to be starting a new reading reaction vlog. I literally just finished last night Bound by Sable Sorensen, and it was so good. I immediately want to pick up the sequel, so I was thinking on my ride home today, you know what I really want to do for this vlog is my reactions to reading a couple of really anticipated fantasy sequels that I was planning to read this month anyway. So we're gonna start out with Bound by Sable Sorensen because even though this wasn't on my TBR for this month, I immediately want to dive into this. I'm really bad and I don't normally go from the first book in a series immediately into the second. I usually put other things in between. I tend to read things when they first come out, and so then I have to wait a year for the sequel or whatever. But with this one, I have the sequel and I really want to read it. So I'm going to jump right into this one tonight. And then I think I might read Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig after that because I want to finish that duology, and I feel like that would be different enough that I wouldn't be sort of like jumping from one fantasy romance right to another of the same type. And then I'd like to finish out the vlog with the Ballad of Falling Dragons because I'm also really excited to read the sequel to When the Moon Hatched. So that's my plan for this vlog. I will try to update you as I read chunks in the books, and we'll see how these sequels go, but I'm excited. Hey there, my friends. I have my first reading update for Bound. Valentine is right here next to me trying to... There she is. Yeah, she's just looking out the window because I'm sitting here. But I am like a tiny bit, I don't know, maybe 10% into Bound. And I'm loving it so far. So, I realize this vlog is going to be hard to record without being spoilery, at least for the first book in each of these series. So just know going in, I might spill the beans on a few things, but I'm going to try my best to be as spoiler-free as possible. So in the first book, in Bound, Marin goes to join the bonded trials really because she wants to just become a soldier and go to the front to save her sister. So they're in a war with this other kingdom with the siphons, which are like vampires, and she ends up getting pulled into these bonding trials and ends up bonded to a wolf against her will, and then, you know, has to try and survive, and in the meantime her love interest is supposedly helping her look for the missing children and her sister. At the end of the book, we find out a big couple of reveals, one of which is that the love interest is not, does not have her best interest at heart. We'll just say that. So he's been playing her the whole time, and she is not pleased. So the man that has been training her for the bonded trials, and they've had a real enemies to lovers friction going on in book one, now becomes like the person she can trust the most in book two. So she's finally become truly bonded to her wolf and has this new ally along with a found family group of friends that I love. And they are now setting out to fight a group of other people, to try and legitimately save the children and, you know, things that have been happening with the siphons. Again, I don't want to get more into it than that, but that's where we are now. We've sort of set up that Marin is going to be sort of like leading this group in a new stage of the war. So, all right, I'll keep you guys posted. Hello, my friends. I just got in my car and it's warm, so I'm letting my air conditioner run for a minute before I head out, and I thought I would give you guys an update on my reading. It's been a few days, and I hadn't picked up my copy of Fury Bound for one reason or another, but I sat down last night and I read all the way to like the halfway point in the book. And I know some people did not like this one as much as the first one, but I'm loving it. I'm enjoying sort of getting to know more about the back history of their kingdom, the way we're right about to find out more about how the Siphon Kingdom works. There's been some climactic moments already. There's relationships that are developing. I'm really enjoying it. So like I said, I'm right at the halfway mark. I'm hoping to dive in and read like another quarter maybe tonight before I go to bed. It's so good. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna like this one as much as the first one. I'm a little surprised how many people didn't, so I don't know. Maybe just different expectations, but yeah, I'm loving it. Okay, that's my update for now. Hello, my friends. I just wanted to do a quick little reading update. I am 3/4 of the way through Fury Bound, and sorry, I keep looking at the actual physical book. I should just hold it up. So I took the dust jacket off just to make it easier to hold like at night when I'm reading and whatever, but I'm really enjoying this one. Like I said in my last update, I know that some people didn't like the romance in this one, but I actually do. Like, I'm finding their connection makes sense in my brain. And as much as I could see where some people would feel like it was insta-lovey, it wasn't that way for me. I think they came to respect one another, and now, you know, are lusting after each other, which is sort of what naturally happens in adult relationships. I'm really, really interested in where we are. I mentioned that they were going into the neighboring Siphon Kingdom, and some very interesting developments have happened. They're making some interesting alliances, and I can't give too much more without spoiling the plot. So just needless to say, I'm liking the character growth. I do like that a lot of the other characters challenge Marin. Like, they don't let her rest on like her personality. They don't let her get away with anything, and even though she's becoming more and more important and more powerful, like, they still call her out and like, you're being immature, you're not confronting things head on, you're not dealing with stuff, and you have to. So I think that's a really, really great way that the authors are addressing a lot of the stuff that's happening. So I'm very excited to see sort of where this is taking us. I have some theories, but who knows? I mean, who knows? So I will update you guys probably when I finish the book, how I felt about this sequel in general. Hello, my friends. I am here with my final reading update on Fury Bound by Sable Sorensen. So this one, I mean, I loved it. I really did. The dog is licking me. Sorry for the camera angle changing so bad. She's giving me kisses. But I really loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fast-paced. I thought it was interesting. I liked the way the romance developed. I know some people struggled with that, but it worked for me. And I really, really enjoyed how we got to the end of book 2 and the stakes jumped even higher yet again. So in book 1, Marin's figuring out being bonded. She's figuring out how to deal with this new direwolf society. She's figuring out that she's been really badly betrayed. And then we move into book 2 and she's coming into even more power. She's still figuring out, like, she does a lot of maturing as a person, and starts a new romance. Travels to a foreign, kingdom that they're technically at war with. And then we start to get a sprinkle of the mythology of the world and that there are gods, or there might have been gods, and the stories have been sort of lost. And at the end of book 2, we get a big old doozy of a reveal. And I will just say, because I don't want to spoil things, but I very much enjoy fantasy books where there is a godly presence and they are messing with the mortals. So I am very excited for book 3, which I think is Ruin Bound. Now, I'm really, really torn because I want to read sort of like a fast palate cleanser before I dive into the Ballad of Falling Dragons, because I feel like those 2 fantasies back to back would be too much. So I'm trying to decide if I want to read the Thorn Queen, which I think would just, I would probably rip through this in 2 days. I really, really loved the first one and it was really fun and quick. And I think this one's going to be the same. Or I also really want to finish this duology and read Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to read. It's probably just going to be a case of whichever one I decide on when I jump into bed tonight. So we will see in my next little clip which one I decided on. Hello, my friends. I thought I would give you a quick update on my fantasy series continuations reading updates. I am almost 100 pages into Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, and I am contemplating DNFing this one. I know it's kind of a controversial thing because so many people love this duology with all of their hearts, and the first book was okay, but it didn't completely blow me away. And the second book just is not holding my attention at all. So I can't decide if I want to try and read another 50 pages or so and then decide, or if I want to just like soft DNF it for now and move on to something else, maybe try coming back to it at the end of the vlog or something if I'm in a better mood. I don't know, but I'm definitely not having the reaction I thought I was going to have, and I'm not really feeling it. So that's where I'm at right now. I will let you guys know what I decide in my next update. Okay, bye. Good morning, my friends. I took a day or two and I really, really thought about it, and I ended up deciding that I am going to DNF Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I am just hardcore not feeling this book. I don't know what's putting me off. I don't know. I'm gonna hold on to it for the moment and see if maybe in a month or two I want to try picking it up again. So it might be a soft DNF. I might just not be in the mood. But for now, it's a DNF. So I am going to pick up tonight The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith, because I'm super excited to dive into that one, and I think it's going to be a really fast, fun, great summer read. So yeah, that's the plan. I will let you guys know after I've read the first little chunk of The Thorn Queen. Bye. Hello, my friends. I started the Thorn Queen this afternoon, and I want to say, oh God, how many pages am I? I'm 70 pages in, and I am loving it so far. So the Rose Bargain, the first book, is a story where it's an alternate version of England, where the fairy queen stepped in during a war and basically took over, became the Queen of England, and closed the door between the fairy and human realms, and has been ruling in England. As part of like her saving humanity and becoming queen, she agreed to let every human make one fairy bargain. And so it's become a tradition that when young ladies are presented to society, they are making their fairy bargain at the same time. So we have our main character in the first book making her debut, and she's going to make her fey bargain. But as she and the other debutantes are getting ready to have their come out and meet with the queen makes an announcement that she is going to find a husband for her elder son, the High Prince, that season. So if any of the girls want to compete for his hand, they can do so. But if they do so, they either win the prince's hand or they can never, ever, ever get married. So lots of the girls end up deciding to participate in this competition for the prince's hand, but it also puts them in a very high competition, because either they're going to become Queen of England someday, or they basically lose their chance at a good life, because in this society you need to be married. That's just the way of things. So again, because this is a vlog about sequels, and this is the second book in the duology, I'm going to share some mild spoilers, so prepare yourself if you don't want to know what happens. At the end of the first book, our main character is going to marry the prince, and along the way she has actually fallen in love with his younger brother, the younger prince, but they realize that they basically need to topple the queen, and the way they think they're going to do it is with the princes. There's a scheme. Everything goes wildly wrong. So in book 2, our main character has now become the queen, but she is married to an awful fairy king who has let the fae back into England, and now they are wreaking havoc. So yes, I love dark, mischievous, awful fairies, and this duology has got them. It's so good. So right now we are basically trying to figure out how we're going to survive in this awful new version of essentially Bridgerton. And I'm, like I said, 70 pages in, and it's so much fun already. So I am so glad that I decided to DNF Two Twisted Crowns and pick this one up instead, because I feel like I'm probably going to finish this in another day or two. I'm just going to rip right through it. So that's the newest update. Hello, my friends. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. It is Sunday, so I'm hoping to dive back into the book a little bit later this afternoon, but I am a third of the way into the Thorn Queen now, and like I said in my last update, it is just very entertaining. I really, really like this author's writing style. It feels like it's just going by in a blink. It's again full of that dark fairies that just do not care about humans, and I love that kind of story. I totally devour them. And we are in a spot where now, like, characters' loyalties are getting tested. You know, the depths of like the emotions they really feel for each other are being tested, because like time has passed differently for different people. So yeah, I can't wait to dive back in. Hello, my friends. I finally, it's been a few days, finally have another Thorn Queen update for you guys. I read another like 100 pages or so last night, so I'm about 2/3 of the way into the book now. I'm trying to figure out how much info to give. It's going to be a little spoilery. I don't want to get too spoilery, so I can't remember what I mentioned in my last update, but we now, the reader, are with the main character, her sister, her love interest, a couple of her friends. We are in the fairy realm rather than the human realm. And now both sisters are facing some pretty horrific trials, as well as the little friend group is trying essentially to oust the now evil king of Fae. So that's kind of where we are. And again, I love the way this author writes. I love the pacing of the storyline. I'm finding this duology so good, just hitting the spot for me. So I'm really excited. I'm kind of hoping that I can finish this one tonight, but we'll see. So yeah, that's where we stand right now. And hopefully my next update will be just letting you guys know what I thought of the end of the book. Hello, my friends. I have a quick update for you. I finished the Thorn Queen last night, and I loved this duology. I really think that it's one of those duologies that was just right for me personally. I love dark, mischievous, terribly acting fairies. I loved the whole, like, the fact that we had sort of the alternate England in our world, and then we had almost a whole book that took place in like the other world. I thought that like the trial concepts were fun. I thought the relationship between the sisters was really well done. I liked all of the romance in the different aspects of like how love can make you feel both in a positive way and like when you fall in love with the wrong person, what happens then. I really loved these. Thought they were great reads. I will recommend them in the future. So now I just have to decide what I'm picking up next. Hello, my friends. So this is just going to be a very random ending to this vlog, but I was thinking about the fact that I was trying to come up with a third book, a third series continuation to read for this vlog, and I realized that I did talk about Two Twisted Crowns and why I decided to DNF it. So technically that was the third book in this vlog. This has been going on for quite a while, and I just kind of want to, you know, wrap it up. I feel like ending on the Thorn Queen was a really good place because it was a really, really enjoyable reading experience. So I think I'm just going to end on that high note. But thank you for coming along with me while I read these couple of, you know, next books in fantasy series that I really enjoyed. I am going to be diving into The Ballad of Falling Dragons soon, but I'm finishing up the last book in the first Mistborn trilogy, and I think that's going to take me another couple days. So like I said, we're just going to do that on its own separately, I think, or I may not even vlog it. I don't know. We'll decide later, but yeah. So thanks for coming with me on this reading journey. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed my reactions, even though they've been kind of crazy at times. All right, bye.